Kels, it's Thursday, June 23rd, exactly 1 week from when you made your merit-based reward system. And I'm quite proud to announce the results. We received a grand total of 2 subscribers in the last week. To the 2 of you, thank you for being here. We love having you. But it looks like we won't be beating Voldemort anytime soon.
Caution. A virus has been detected.
So you know how Becca is about TV tropes? She gets on there and then she clicks on one thing and then she ends up clicking on another and then another and then another and then suddenly like 4 hours are gone. Apparently that's how I am about YouTube. I was on for about 3 hours last night. Kinda clicking, waiting for you to post your video, waiting for the Vlogbrothers to post theirs. I wasn't really expecting anything life-altering to happen, but you wouldn't believe what I found. There was a video, and it kind of was a normal everyday vlog. I think she was telling us how she gets ready for work. I kind of forgot what the actual point of the video was, because at the end, she did this. Kinda blew my mind. At first I just thought she was being funny. And then I looked at her grammar. She was making this absurdly deep statement. There isn't anymore. There no longer exists. If there no longer exists, does that mean that everything is here? And does that mean that the only things that exist are in this particular location? Or that everything that used to exist is suddenly in this location? If there no longer exists, why? What happened to there? Was there some great catastrophe I didn't hear about? Was there some great melding of the world that we are no longer here and there, but only here? How did I miss this great melding? Ah. And the moral of this story, folks, is that bad grammar does 2 things. Sends me into conniptions and makes me think deep thoughts that are not really relevant. So my YouTube amble actually started down at Incarnated's YouTube account, and I felt a little bad watching her video because we made this deal that however many words she writes, I will also write and then send to her, so it's a little bit of an incentive for her to be working on her thesis. And she sent me a message last Saturday saying she had 2,044 words, and I have sent her nothing. Emily, I'm terribly sorry. I promised I will get them to you. There's a really long, complicated story about why I haven't gotten them to you, which actually I should tell you because it might be helpful to you after next year. So the story I'm currently working on, I used as my senior thesis, which I don't know why I'm telling you. You know this. Because the project ended up being too long to actually be completed in a year alongside all my other coursework, Greek, Latin, 300 level lit classes, I ended up being told by my advisor that I just needed to find a nice wrap-up point so that I could kind of have a little bit of a resolution before I handed my thesis in. That way the thing that's on file for the rest of eternity, that wouldn't have this really deep cliffhanger. And apparently I ended up giving it a cliffhanger anyway, but I tried really hard to give it some kind of resolution. And then I came home and I figured, you know, there was editing things that I could do, but I was just going to keep going forward and worry about editing later. But what actually happened is that because of that resolution that I tried to pack into there for the end of my thesis, the actual novel doesn't move forward the way that it's supposed to. And instead, I've had to backtrack into the last chapter that I finished and remind the main character and the readers that she's still fearful for her life. I don't know if you've ever convinced someone that they were safe and then completely yanked the rug out from under them, but they get a little angry. You know, my character lounge? Yeah, that room doesn't actually exist, but it's kind of how I visualized my writing process. The big center room is where I allow characters to come out and play when I'm actually working with them, and the side rooms are all places where I shut characters away so that they're not talking to each other or me when I'm trying to figure out problems that don't involve them. It doesn't always work. Sometimes characters like tunnel into each other's rooms and then there's some really random crossovers. But anyway, right now I've locked everybody away except for my main character and my spoiled brat prince. And they're both supposed to be sitting in one room and kind of talking at each other, and instead it looks a little bit like this. I hate you. So you can imagine what writing's been like the last couple days. And I'm pretty sure that the most repeated thought that I've been having as I've been trying to write is, Jera, I know you're running for your life right now, but please stop and notice the architecture. I've created this really kind of interesting palace complex, which I have absolutely fallen in love with. And I thought it was based off a lot of the ancient Greek palaces, you know, Knossos, Phaistos, all of them. And I'm not really big on sketching things out before I start writing them, but this is a really complex structure, and so I just decided to start making little basic shapes. And it looked really familiar. Yeah, does that look like front quad to anybody else? Apparently my spoiled brat prince lives in Maine, and the main character's escape route is through the Beale Garden, and the prison is Moody. I don't even know how that happened. Kelsey, I will see you tomorrow.